What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Invest Iowa. Today, I have John, the president of EXP in Canada. So excited to have you here, man. I appreciate you coming along.
Thank you very much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. And it took a couple of times of us re-coordinating, rescheduling to get here. So I appreciate your patience. And here we are. Thank you.
Yes, it's not easy. It's not as easy as it seems to be the president of EXP. Tell me, man, give me a little bit introduction. Give me an introduction about yourself. How do you describe yourself?
Myself, I am first and foremost a father, first and foremost a husband, a son, a brother, and a human being.
Yeah.
Second is I sell real estate. I've been selling real estate for the past 17 years, going on my 18th year. And I run a team right now of over 40 agents. I run an organization right now at EXP Realty of over 1,050 agents. And still the producing agent, still running the organization. And I'm also the president of EXP Realty Canada, accountable to grow our 6,000 agent group to over 10,000 in the next couple of years. And just having fun doing what I'm doing right now as a contribution to, agents out there. And yeah, just being a good, positive force in the world.
That's impressive. That is impressive. How do you even get started in all of this? How do you get started in real estate? When did you get your license?
Thank you for asking. So that was about 18 years ago. But how old are you?
I'm 23.
23. Okay, I got a story for you then. Okay, so this is how I started. I was 22 years old. I was in my last year of university. I was on vacation in my home country of Taiwan. And there I was in the gym at noon on a Tuesday afternoon, right? And I run into this Caucasian gentleman. His name was Will. And he was 42 years old at that time. And I'm like, Will, I see you at the gym every single day this summer. Do you even work? He said, actually, I am financially free. I'm like, what does that even mean? He's like, well, my passive income exceeds my monthly expenses. I said, okay, so what do you do? He said, well, I built the language school in Taiwan. I sold it, made a lot of money, and I invested it all in real estate. Now it's creating residual income every single month. So I don't have to work if I don't choose to work. I said, wow, Will, that's phenomenal. You are so successful. I'm so enamored by you. What do you suggest for me as a 22-year-old what I should do? And he said, you know what? Go read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was like, okay. No, I had never read a book then in its entirety my whole life. I picked up the book when I got back. I read it and I understood nothing but the real estate part. Is to buy enough real estate so you can earn enough residual income to be out of the rat race.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, as a 22-year-old, I procrastinated 4 years until I actually got my license. Okay. But that was what really changed the course of my life, because I had no idea in my fourth year of university in my psychology major, in my I was minor in Japanese. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Right. So he actually set off this whole journey of self-development, set off the whole journey of real estate. After that, I ran into Tony Robbins, Mike Ferry, The Secret, and all that kind of stuff. And, which brought me to today. I'm 43 years old. And I want to find the next guy to give the gift to. So I can help change the trajectory of their life. If they're like, man, John, I don't even know what to do with my life. What should I do? Then, then I can give them that gift. So for my story to the next person who's in their early 20s, I say, find your will. Double meaning, your will inside you to become successful, and your will, your mentor, like who I found mine. Right. So I think that's how I got started. It was plain and simple. And the rest is history. Obviously, there's a lot of ups and downs and big stories, little stories within, but that's essentially how I started.
I love that you shared the story and how it makes you feel and how it makes you feel the power from within. Um, Whereas I don't, I feel like some other question could have been answered in a superficial way. You know, you could have answered, well, I talked to a guy, he got me started into real estate, got my license, started selling, but it's just more about why did I even begin doing what I started doing? Why, like, what is the motive of me even wanting to do this for my life? And I think that's pretty cool. And I can certainly identify with that, with the way that you answer that question. It's a
Yes.
priority for me.
Thank
I-
you. Thank you
yeah.
for recognizing that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll definitely take that advice. Financial freedom is something definitely that I feel like anybody going into real estate is in one way or another looking for, right?
Yeah.
When did
100%.
so in that process of getting that license and all of that, uh reading the books, what was it that kept sparking your from within to continue with real estate?
To continue, you always have different whys and different motivations and different inspirations at each and every juncture in your career. I grew up as an immigrant here in Canada, but my upbringing, I would say for me, was tough because I came here not speaking the language and I was bullied a lot and I was kicked around a lot by my peers and people who were older than me. And I always had the chip on my shoulder that, you know what, I'll show you. I will show you that I will become successful. I don't know how, but I will show you. And on top of that, my dad was always very hard on me growing up, especially when I was a teenager. He'd be like, when I was your age, I was already working, I was already making money. Look at you, you're useless, you're worthless, you're not going to amount to anything. And, I had to, really listen to that my whole adolescence. So I was very frustrated in my early 20s, to say the least. Like, okay, I'm a loser. Well, I'm not doing anything with my life. But then I knew that I wanted to excel at something. I just didn't find the vehicle yet. And you know what? That drives me very like internally,
Yeah.
like the underlying underdog, the guy who's been picked on for many, many years, like that will always fire me up. But then in different junctures of your career, you're going to have other different motivations. I want to buy a car. I want to buy a house. I want to, buy investment properties. I want to buy this and that. I want to go somewhere. I want to have, some big dreams that I have. But the underlying motivation is always internal. And then you have different at different junctures of your life and your career, you have external accountability and external motivation that drives you forward. But every single day, you need to kind of hone in on, okay, what's my goal? What's my purpose? And if you can wake up with that and just say, hey, you know what? Today I didn't feel like doing my work, but I'm waking up because of this,
Yeah.
right? Then you channel that. And that's how you keep going. You always have to find that motivation. So I would check out Michael Jordan Hall of Fame speech.
For Jordan Hoffman speech.
Yeah, 2009 Hall of Fame speech. The man is absolutely relentless, but as you can see, he found so many little things in between that lit the fire underneath his ass to keep him moving and become the greatest of all time.
Mm,
You can't always be motivated, but you have to find motivation or create motivation within yourself to move forward every single day. And
right.
it's different every year.
Yes.
Make
And
sense?
yeah, and then combine that motivation with discipline because you're not always going to be motivated.
100%.
Yes.
100%. Because, yeah, a motivation does not last. Accountability and discipline is where it's at. Right. So for the young guys out there, even yourself listening, if you can have somebody to hold you accountable on a daily basis and, really know that within you that, you have to keep moving forward and you have to do it no matter what. You have to do it even when you don't feel like it, you can win.
Yes. Let me ask you this. Did you like so you talk about the underdog feeling. Did you did you always feel as if you were meant for more?
No,
No.
I didn't feel that way. Yeah.
Then what way did you feel?
I always felt like I'm not enough.
Oh,
Yeah. I always felt like maybe I should just stay. selling jeans at my local retail shop. Maybe I should just stay really like in my box and just, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. And never in my wildest dreams could I dream like, okay, we're making this much money. I have a big house that I bought for myself and I can take care of my own family. These things, driving a Lamborghini, like all that kind of stuff. I never even dreamed of that.
Right.
I never felt like I was meant for more. It was more like for me, one step at a time.
Hmm.
And then when you take that next step, you open yourself up to more possibilities. You open yourself up to new people that you're meeting. You meet the next mentor. You meet the next person that can take you to the next level. Exposure is what has you think bigger and bigger and bigger. But if I'm just in my own box and not meeting anybody, then I'll just, you know, be like, okay, well, this is my life. This is my own little box. But I think growing up, because my dad was wealthy, okay, but we lost a major portion of our wealth when I was growing up. I was like, okay, well, I'm never going to be as wealthy as my dad. I'm never going to be as successful as my dad. So I always felt like, okay, I need to take one step at a time because, if I dream too big, I might just give up. So have a big, sexy or big, hairy, audacious goal, but you need to take one step at a time. And that's all it is. Like it's blind faith, right? You have to have faith that you're going to become successful. You don't know what that looks like yet, but you just need to take the first step.
Right.
And then tomorrow, another step.
And then that's how you carry on. That's yeah. So let's go back to that storyline in which you got your real estate license. What was that process like?
Oh, I mean, it was quite simple for me. It took, well, actually, I took a long, long time to get it. Most people do it in 3 months. I did it in 8 months. And once I got the license and I signed up with the brokerage, and I was like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And then luckily I had a mentor, I had a friend, and they took me around and I was doing some showings for them. And then I helped out on 2 deals and I was paid $2,500 for my first 7 months of the business.
Yeah.
And of course, there are monthly fees and then there are monthly expenses. So I was immediately $15,000 in debt. And then the second year, however, I did my first deal March 2007. I was like, wow, I got paid 6 grand. Holy shit. And then I end up doing 17 transactions until the end of the year. I made 104,000 by the end of the year.
Amazing.
I was like, man, as a 27-year-old back then, I was like, dude, I made it. So I go out and buy a BMW X5 for $89,000. Okay. And then with the rest of the money, I go and buy my girlfriend, now wife, purses, clothes, jewelry. And then what happened in 2008? 2008 came around. I went from 104,000 to $48,000, and I had spent all the money that I made in 2007, and I was $80,000 in debt, like almost overnight. But that year is where I became a beast. That year is where I declared I'm never gonna give up because I
Mm.
had nowhere else to go. I couldn't go back to selling jeans. I was never gonna pay off my debt. And I
Right.
had no, what am I going to do with a psychology degree? Is it $35,000 salary per year as a social worker, which nothing wrong with that,
Right.
but I couldn't pay off my debt. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep my head down, have blind faith. And I hired a coach, Mike Ferry, and he gave me the mindset, skills, and activities to move forward in my career. And when I hired him, I paid $1,500 a month. I was $88,000 in debt already. 6 months with no sales. And then by the 6th month, March, something about March 2009, I did 33 transactions in a row until the end of the year.
Wow.
Whew, that was like a big, oh, right? Big sigh of relief.
Did
And
you buy
then
another car?
I didn't. So I
Okay,
gave
good.
back the car. I gave back the car to BMW. It was a lease. And then I just drove my mom's old car and I was like, oh God, okay, now it's a little bit better, right? And then 2010, we got married and I bought my first place. And then, 2011, 12, I was still about, $50,000 in debt. And then 2013, I pay off the debt.
Good.
And then what happened was when you pay off the debt, you become complacent,
Yes.
right? So, there's a balance between complacency and ego. Okay. Because in the journey of making a lot of money, you become complacent. And then ego pops up as well. So I'll tell you this past 2022, we made the most we've ever made. $3.8 million in GCI for the team. And then I made another $660,000 in revenue share. Okay. When you make that kind of money and you're driving a Lamborghini, you start to feel yourself all over. You're like, man, I got this. Just like 2007 when I made 104,000 and bought the $89,000 car. But when you feel yourself, you start to forget yourself, who you are, why you even here working hard. And guess what? I spent all my money. And next thing you know, my accountant comes to me and says, please remit $380,000 in your tax account. Now, immediately, I was $380,000 in debt. So complacency and ego, right? These things you have to get rid of at all possible, defeat both in your career, and you're going to be in good shape. Keep your head down, stay humble, save your money, pay your taxes. You'll have a great real estate career.
Right. Yeah. At what point? So the first money that you made was on you bought liabilities with it. You bought things that were like making you pay a debt. Did you?
Yeah.
And at what point did you transition from buying liabilities to buying assets?
Well, I bought my first condo with my first paycheck. So it was a pre-sale where I could utilize the down payment that I was going to pay with the commissions.
Hmm.
So I bought that one. And you know what? If you can keep all properties at all possible, keep them. I actually sold that one. I made a little bit of a profit.
Hmm.
I go and buy liabilities with it. So, again, manage your money, right? So I started accumulating properties. I think the highest, in 2019, I had 10 properties. In 2019 was actually a tough year. So by the pandemic, I sold three. And then last year we got into some, tax debt and all that. And now we're down to five, right? But I intend on um, replenishing that and getting it back up to 10 so I can create at least $10,000 per month in that rental residual income per month. So I could be way more ahead than I am right now. I'm just being like totally authentic with the crowd that's listening. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. It's not
Yeah.
always easy. And you might not always achieve your goals in the time that you want. But most entrepreneurs drive themselves crazy, not because of their goals or lack of achieving their goals. They drive themselves crazy with the timeline that they set for achieving those goals.
Hmm.
Okay. Life is short, but life is also very long.
Right.
If you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And we always underestimate what we can do, right? In We overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in five. So if you think about right now, where you're at 18 years old, like you've come a long way. And in the next 5 years, 28 years old, you look back at 23, be like, man, I've come a long way.
Yeah.
But we always are in the gap of things, meaning I'm always think about, okay, well, I didn't achieve my goal this year. But you declared that goal. If you keep yourself in the gap, meaning I'm not enough, then you always beat yourself up. How about think about the gain? Like, okay, how much have I come forward in the past 5 years? So 5 years ago, 2018, our commissions we earned was 1.4 million, and we did 100 transactions. Now we're at 200, and we're making $3.8 million. So you know what I'm saying? Like, if I
Yeah.
look at that, how far we've come now, how far we still have to go, and keep myself in the gratitude of things, then my life is a lot better.
Yes.
So, I mean, for the young people listening to this right now, this is totally authentic, my journey.
That's yeah, that is really real. I feel like entrepreneurs struggle a lot trying to figure out how they can make it tomorrow by midnight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. When do you so what talk to me about your exit strategy, right? Because I feel like the end of the goal should be that financial liberty, that capacity of saying I'm working because I want to.
Yep.
What's your plan towards getting there?
Okay. I tell you right now, my residual income from the revenue share, if I say I'm going to sell my team, I'm going to sell my house, I'm out.
Okay.
That's already my exit. But what's funny is that, okay, I'm 43 years old. Where am I going to go if I exit?
Yeah.
Exit to where? That's why I put myself, I said yes, 100% to the president role. I got myself a job with a salary, but it's not about that. It's like, how can I live my life to the fullest where I am contributing to others with no ulterior motive? Right? And I didn't have to fly to Halifax last week. I didn't have to fly to New Brunswick or Regina last week, but I'm there because I want to contribute and pour into people where I can actually leave my mark by doing that. And I know it's very busy. I'm flying all over the place. I don't even know where I am most days, but here's the thing. Life is a daring adventure, or it's simply nothing at all. So if you can, you must.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's how I'm thinking about it right now. So I can exit right now, but I choose not to because I got a purpose.
So the purpose that you begin with kind of contradicts the purpose that you have now. The purpose
Yeah,
of
you see,
right. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, because and it always changes, right? So when I first started, I was like, oh, I want to get out of the rat race, which fair. Yeah, but what are you going to do after you get out of the rat race? Then what?
Yeah.
Right? So I think if you are whatever you're doing, right? If you get your finances handled, then you can really truly focus on your purpose. And I feel like I'm lucky enough that I am living my purpose right now, going out there, speaking, training, and relating to our agents and helping people and pouring into them, giving them positive influence. I mean, that is really my purpose right now. If I feel like I'm living my purpose, I'm living my life, right? And I don't need to exit from that. If I need to exit from that, I'm dead.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I think I'm just very blessed to be in this position where I can live in my fire, not
Hmm.
in my wax.
Hmm.
So for the young people out there listening, you know what? Find your fire. My fire 5, 6, 7 years ago was listing property at a high level. Really enjoyed that. And now my fire is different. And at every juncture in your career and life, you'll find different fires that you'll want to go towards. So take those inspired actions and go towards that. It might not be real estate, it might be something else.
Yeah.
Whatever that is for you, go towards what inspires you.
I 100% agree with that. What do you
Yeah.
tell those agents? Um what are some of the common things that you in all of your presentations give as an advice to the people that are getting started?
I would think that set a goal. Set a goal that you want that truly inspires you, not somebody else's goal, not somebody else's standard, but what do you really want?
Is there any instructions on how to setting up a goal?
So I have this form on my business plan that I created is 20 reasons why you want to become successful, 20 reasons why you want the goals that you want. So you have something that you want, and then you have 20 reasons why. The first 5, 10, 15 reasons are going to be I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, I want to buy investment property, whatever, right? But the last 5, you're going to really truly dig deep on really truly who you are and what you want for your life and your purpose. Okay.
Mm,
then you got to dig deep on that. So you have monetary goals, but you need to have purpose behind the monetary goal. I want $1 million, but why do you want $1 million? Because I can give you $1 million, and then what? It becomes empty if it's just on the number. Numbers don't mean anything.
mm,
What means something is what are you going to do with that money,
yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah. And what do you? I mean, I'm struggling to try to find out uh, what my truly what my truly purpose for life is. I guess that changes for everybody, and you're not like you don't figure it out when you're 23. Maybe you'll figure out later, and everything changes, right? What
Absolutely.
I mean, from your perspective, when you were like my age, how were you setting up those goals?
It was mainly monetary and it was mainly ego. I'll tell you that much. When you're
Okay,
younger,
okay. That's kind of like because it feels like it's the thing that I haven't been able to solve that is the one that I paid the most attention to,
which is what for you?
which is the getting out of the rat race, finding that financial freedom, right? It's just like hustle so you don't ever have to work again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Uh,
can't really think of anything else past that until I get to that point. So
yeah.
I feel like in a sense I'm blinded.
Yeah, yeah, sure, for sure. I appreciate that because for some senses I'm still there, kind of, right? Trying to find yourself. And it's life, I think, is a journey of becoming better every single day. And all those things that you want, all those measures, the money, the number of homes that you want to sell, they'll all come. It's all a done deal. But that's not what truly matters. What truly matters is becoming a successful person day by day. You attract the success that you want by becoming a better person, by becoming a better human being, becoming a better salesperson. It's all about the journey, not the destination, because I've chased so many destinations thinking it was going to make me happy. It didn't. I bought the Lambo. We made the $3.8 million, but it's emptiness right away when you get it. Right away. And even when you're financially free, which I was, it's emptiness when you get it. I told my wife, you know what? When we make $50,000 a month in revenue share, we're going to go on a trip. And you know what? That trip after the first week was boring as fuck. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
prolonged. It was like, oh my God, my brain turned into mush. I'm like, what am I contributing to the society and to the world
right.
when I'm taking 7 weeks off with my family?
Yeah.
Right. So I think, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that either, but you as a young person, you truly figure out what you want to do every single day. Do what you feel inspired to do. Go out there and contribute and help other people as much as possible. You're young, you're energetic, right? You can do a lot with your energy that you have. Go out there and help other people as much as possible. What you're doing right now is amazing, which is giving out, sharing information and knowledge to others. You're helping others. This is amazing. But I would say, like, be in the curiosity of the journey instead of being in that, oh, I'm lost,
Yeah.
because you could always be in that. Okay. And I'll end up with this story. Okay. We were in Maui in January, and my wife, she went to the road to Hana. Do you know what that is?
I I think I've heard of it. Yes.
You heard of it, right? So it's this beautiful road to Hana, but then she fell asleep for the whole trip, thinking that the destination was heavenly, was beautiful. When she woke up, she looked at this dilapidated little village called Hana. It was a piece of shit. But what she missed was the winding road of the beauty in the road to Hana. That was what the journey was all about, but the destination was absolute shit. And same with chasing after $1 million. Same with chasing after 200 transactions. The shit that you're chasing doesn't matter, but it's the journey and the juice of getting there. That's what's beautiful about this whole thing.
Uh,
So you as a young person, I would recommend that every single day, just be in that curiosity of, man, what's coming next? I'm excited about what God can throw at me today.
Right.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. It's about the journey, not the destination.
100%, man. So
Yeah.
enjoy the journey, have fun every day, because you know life again is short. Sometimes it may be cut short by tragedies, and you just never know what can happen tomorrow. I mean, I could
Yes.
go, you know, after this podcast, be out there and knock on wood, you drive out there and get hit by a bus. Who knows?
You're absolutely right.
So
What
if I could do my day and my life each and every day, do an honest day of work, contribute to my family, friends, and all the people I care about, that's all that matters.
and that's what your future is all about as well, right? What do you expect your future to be now that you have a different purpose
I'm just doing it day by day. I have
day by
big
day?
goals. And you know what? I want to sell 700 homes. I want to have, you know, 10,000 people in my revenue share organization. Those are all fine and dandy, right? But as long as after today, is it like right now, here I am with you.
Yeah.
I gave it my all. I gave my all to you on this podcast. I'm holding nothing back. I'm giving you my 150% here on this podcast. And if I did that, I did my job today. I can't hate myself for not doing my job. And if you just go through a day with an honest day of work, you know, you can't hate that.
Right.
Be a man of integrity. That's it.
Man, wow, that's very insightful. I'll go in your day by day 150%. I'll keep that in mind. But
Yes,
uh
sir.
just to wrap this up, um, in terms of real estate and mindset, is there any quote or particularly sentence that you go by day?
I think so. And it's really true for my career. It's by Martin Luther King. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. And if you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving forward.
Hmm.
And whatever hard times you're going through right now, if you just keep moving, even if it's just one little step forward, you know, if you're going through hell, keep going, right?
Why
Don't
was stop
stop.
there? Yeah.
Why stop there, right? And if you're worried about your finances, you're worried about the lack of sales, you're simply not working. If you're working and you're busy, you're too busy to be worried. But if you're worried, you get into your head, and you get into your head, you're dead, right? So just keep moving. No matter what, just being in motion creates magic.
Right. Yeah. Wow. John, thank you so much for being in the podcast. If you made it this
Pleasure.
far in the video, subscribe, hit the like button, follow John on social media. Um, thank you so much, man. Appreciate all of your insight on this podcast.
Thank you, brother. We'll see y'all soon.
See you
Cheers.
guys on the next one.
Yes.